On today's Let's Read, we're going behind the scenes on
Ikenai Kanojo no Otetsudai.
Exactly. This is the brand new manga, roughly translated. It's helping the helpless ghost girl.
I thought you were saying the manga was roughly translated. I was about to trade some hands here. I was about to hit you.
This is one of the 3 mangas that we're doing in a contest to see who gets the most views, and that's what we continue scanlating. So let's take a look at this awesome manga that's very well received so far. Tom, walk us through this manga.
Alright, so this is all about basically a cute girl who lives on a school rooftop. She died when she was like a schoolgirl age, and she never made any friends when she was alive. She was very sickly, and she's kind of like shy, maybe autismo, I don't know. I like to throw the word around, so probably. She has like a lingering regret. You know how like some ghosts will do that kind of thing. I don't actually know if there's like an official English term for it exactly.
Is there a Japanese term?
Yeah, more or less. But I guess it's kind of like an English where it's also just like regret or lingering affection or something like that. So her lingering regret keeps her bound to the school rooftop, basically. And she can't pass over, whatever your favorite term is.
She can't go to Passover.
Yes.
She has the leavened bread.
Yep, that's it. She's stuck as a ghost until she can make friends.
And I think the biggest thing that makes her an interesting character is that she's a cute girl. I think that's a good...
Yes, the #1 defining character trait.
Let's go through and we'll take a look. This is Young Animal Comics, is the only English in this manga that I've seen.
At least on the first page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting is the title itself doesn't refer to the fact that she's a ghost. It just says helping a helpless girl
or something like that. Yeah.
It's hard to come up with a name.
I just call it Ghost Girl, you know, in the production code name, like how the GameCube was called the Dolphin, or the Wii was called the Dolphin, or something like that.
So here, what you need to do is say, this page intentionally left blank, or cut these out.
Okay, this page intentionally left ghosty.
It's a metaphor for the entire series.
Yeah.
But seriously, what do you think with
that's a good point. I didn't think it through.
Because I thought it was an error the first time I saw it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe that's only because it's like the very first chapter and people want to do stuff. Do you remember the other chapters having that?
Well, it would be at the start of the volume, and I think it's just how the volume was. I don't know.
I'm surprised with your autistic drive for perfection that you don't translate the covers.
Sometimes I do, but titles I normally leave untouched.
I would say, if we were to go back, I would say let's that in English.
Yeah, maybe. But like we've been saying, like there's no good English title, I think.
Most people just kind of skip the contents as well.
I never do. I want to, because I hate coming up with chapter titles.
Oh, it's a ghost as well.
Yeah. Very nice. So already, dude, on page 1, in the past I've always used paint.net as my tool of choice.
A true patrician's choice.
Yes, and with these 3 mangas, I've swapped over to testing out Photoshop. Only for one reason, and that's the bottom left panel, text outlines.
Yeah, I was so surprised when you said that paint.net doesn't have an outline.
Yep.
And what you used to do is you used to take the paint tool and actually draw behind the words. So you would trace the words. That's so much work, I can't imagine it.
I got really lazy halfway through Monster Girl Village, where I would just drag it horizontally across. I wouldn't make the shapes. It still worked, but it was definitely sloppy. So
we've got our protagonist hero who's stayed after school because I guess he
had to come back to school because he left his notebook. Right now, it's hard to tell just because manga, you can't really do time super well, but it's like middle of the night, I think, right now.
Okay, or at least kind of dark.
Yeah.
You can't tell because the sky is in black, it looks like.
Well, yeah, it looks like it could just like have been right past the sunset or something. I don't know.
So this is also cool. He's finding his notebook, but this also tells you what the character's name is. It's an introduction.
Yeah, and you know, a lesser scanlator might not scanlate that, but you know, here at BG4U, we take quality seriously.
This looks like a cute girl too. She looks like she could be a ghost. She reminds me of the girl from, what's it called? Magic Schoolgirls, Harry Potter.
Oh, yes.
Witch Academy, Witch Academia.
Sushi, something like that. It's like Susie, but not.
Ooh, so he's going into the no trespassing, the vacant part in the school. Apparently in Japan, there's just tons of empty old school buildings that are haunted.
Is that true?
Well, I mean, it seems like that way from every anime I've seen.
Yeah, well,
they always have like, it's the abandoned building.
He's going to the roof, though. That's not like an abandoned building.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a whole thing, too.
Oh, that's a huge thing. Like, all main characters hang out on rooftops. Whoa, what's going on with this weird spacing here on these 2 pages? Maybe that's just, maybe they had...
You looking here or what?
No, like horizontal.
Oh, that is kind of weird. I didn't notice that.
I wonder if that's just how the pages are. I never noticed.
Yeah, well, you do one at a time, so you can never see it.
Yeah.
Here's a good picture of our main heroine.
Yeah, very spooky.
So the story is she's like the haunting spirit of the school. And,
Yeah,
you know,
yep.
she just waits up on the roof to devour. Well, at least they know her thing is that she regrets not having made any friends.
Yep.
So that's the lore. It's like one of the 7 mysteries of the school. And now here we see the defining picture.
Yeah, she's not a scary girl. She's a cute, bewildered girl.
I can't imagine that she wouldn't have any friends. Like, I'll be your friend.
Well, it's just always the trope. It's like, oh, I'm an ugly, normal-looking girl, but it's a cute anime girl. It's just a classic.
In this page, we see some of the defining characteristics of the manga. Great expressions.
Yes.
They're pretty good.
That was half the reason I felt very confident that this would win out of the 3 contestants, rather.
I like what you did with the books. 3 tips for making friends. People skills. The creature known as humans.
Well, so that was such a weird one to do. It was something like
the beast of man or something.
Yeah, like the word was seibutsu that it used, and it's kind of like life form or like something like that. So I just ended up with creature. I feel like there's not a really nice sounding.
I like it because it sounds like a book written by an autistic person for autistic people.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And you know, it was translated by an autistic person for autistic manga readers. So
exactly, like us and you.
Life imitates art.
So she just starts talking to him, and she's like, "Oh, you can't hear me. That's too bad."
Yeah, she's trying to practice her conversational skills.
But little does she know, he can see ghosts. Whoa. So he's freaking out, but he's being quiet because he's scared to death.
Yeah, you know, it's not every day that a ghost starts talking to you. And she says some spooky stuff where it's like, don't you know where you are? This is Rooftop Rinko's domain. And then here's the more just adorable faces where like her face is melting. It's very, reminds me a lot of Takagi-san. No, that's not it. It's the other one.
Nagatoro?
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of Nagatoro, how like in every panel I've ever seen of Nagatoro, her face is melting in some way or another.
Oh, it's great. And she's got the fangs too. If she had the fangs now, that would be a whole... See, it doesn't really fit with her character because you need to be tsundere or spunky or some type of like more assertive, more energy.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely works better with the melty mouth.
Yes. And here's something, here's my first complaint with Photoshop. Seeing where it says possess in like the top left. The font that I've been using on Paint.net has bold and italics options, but not in Photoshop. I just have to set it up somehow, but I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, someday we'll get we'll get Jamie on it.
Yeah,
our co-host, Mark. What is he? The producer?
I guess he is.
Producer Jamie.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if he has a title.
So she's just being cute, saying embarrassing things because nobody can hear her.
Yeah. This next page here is going to be the second reason that I thought this would win the contest. But first, she says, like, how do you know my family name? So this is, I mean, all veteran weeaboos will know that Japanese names are like last name, first name, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, in this manga, that's how I've decided to keep it. I normally with all my mangas kind of keep it that way. Yeah, I don't know, just a neat little trivia there.
Ta-da!
Yes. And I hope people notice this. Her name is actually on the panties.
Yeah, is that weird? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's like in TV shows I see that, but
it feels
never
like,
in real life.
To me, it feels like something you do for like your kindergartner kid. I don't know. Like it doesn't seem like a high school girl would have that, but who knows?
Very nice thigh gap. You can even see that he's you can see through it.
And actually, on the previous page, it shows her like thigh gap kind of thing there. It shows his face in between her legs.
I didn't even get that.
I know it's kind of subtle, but I think it's a nice visual effect.
See, I thought it was just like an action shot.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
But that's her skirt there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's very creative, actually.
And of course, now she's embarrassed because in Japan, like when you see somebody's panties, they can't get married anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, they're a very traditional society. That's how it works.
Our protagonist was born in a temple, which is why he can see the ghosts, because that's always how it is.
This is another kind of behind the scenes. This is where I air my confessions kind of thing. In the bottom right, where he's like yelling at her or whatever. I'm not sure actually who's yelling. The words in the original Japanese to me implied basically what I translated it as, like he's talking and yelling at her. They were using a sentence ending particle wa. And you know about sentence ending stuff, right? Like
sure.
How it's like a weird quirk of like a lot of Japanese. Like if there's
no subject.
Well, no, I mean like if there's like a bear character, he'll end every sentence with kuma or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Disu.
Well, there's a more normal person kind of equivalent of that. And for girls, a lot of times they'll say wa at the end. And it's an extremely girly sentence ending. I assume based on that alone, she was talking. But the picture makes it look like him. And the words made it sound more like him.
The picture makes it look like him.
Yeah, so I ended up going with him. It's the same idea anyway. Like, whatever.
So she's so embarrassed that she's going to jump off the building. How does that work for ghosts?
Well, that's the thing. She's not thinking it through. And he even calls that out. He's like, wait, you're dead already. I think I even used the classic meme phrase, you are already dead.
I like that he's grabbing a feel here. He's grabbing onto her.
Yep.
So, confirmed, physical touch with the ghost.
Yes, indeed.
So that's awesome. But can she get pregnant? Who knows?
Left to be seen. I don't want to spoil the future chapter.
That's the dojin.
Yeah. And here's, on this page, I have kind of a policy where I don't like to do translator notes and like the margins. But this is one scenario in which I probably should have, because I had to look it up. She's like, let's go to a
museum.
Yeah, a Mizuki Shigeru. That's the guy who is the manga author behind Gegege no Kitaro.
I don't know.
It's a very old school like ghost. It's like Yokai Watch almost, but without the catching, and really old. And I think there's actually a modern anime remake.
So she's an old ghost.
Not necessarily. I mean, I think people would still know about it.
Okay.
And the museum's probably famous. It's like a real thing. Like the museum is a real place.
Yeah, feel free to put translator notes and stuff.
Yeah,
like
on that one I should have. I was kind of iffy, but
see, that's why you listen to the podcast, so you can get all these cutting edge, behind the scenes information. One of her best assets that she says is her ability to control her hair, but of course it's terrifying.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and very Japanesey, like Japanese ghosty.
Oh yeah. Here's the winning idea. Why don't you just try and befriend other ghosts if humans can't see you?
Smart.
And all schools in Japan have the 7 mysterious wonders.
Yep.
So they're all haunted.
Go befriend your anatomy doll thing, where it's like half human skin and half exposed organs. And he even calls out a couple, something like so-and-so and Bloody Mary. I don't remember who exactly it says.
Well, Bloody Mary. Yeah, it says Bloody Mary, but that's the one that's all over.
Bloody Mary's a localization quirk. He actually said, I think Mary-san, which is, I guess, a famous Japanese ghost story. It's really short, actually. I've got it pulled up if you'll indulge me.
It's time for the exclusive mid-series bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was a young Japanese girl who had an old Western doll that she cherished very much. The doll's name was Mary. We should have spooky, music playing. The girl's father got a new job, and the family had to move to a new town. During the move, the girl accidentally lost her doll. This is actually the prequel to Toy Story. One night, the girl's parents went out, and she was left home alone in the new house. All of a sudden, the phone started ringing. When she answered it, she heard a high-pitched voice on the other end of the line. "Hello, it's Mary-san. I'm at the garbage dump now." Which is so stupid. I mean, it doesn't translate
Moshi
well.
moshi.
Yeah. The girl got scared and hung up the phone, but it immediately started ringing again. "Hello, it's Mary. I'm at the corner store now." The girl hung up, but it started ringing again. "Hello, it's Mary. I'm in front of your house right now." Trembling with fear, the girl cautiously opened the front door, but there was nobody there. Maybe it was just a prank call, the girl thought. She let out a sigh of relief and closed the front door. However, just as she was about to go back upstairs to her room, this translation is missing a couple of words. Her phone started ringing again. "Hello, it's Mary. I'm right behind you." The girl slowly turned around. Later that night, when her parents came home, they found the girl lying in a pool of blood. She had been stabbed to death. And this one gives 4 steps on how to avoid being killed by Mary-san. Lock all your doors and windows. Don't answer the phone. Keep your back to the wall. If she's behind you, don't turn around. Just run out the front door immediately. But you can't because it's locked, so oops.
Wow, I'm pretty creeped out. That was some solid creepypasta.
Well, it's just not even close to scary.
Well, I'm sure there's a better. It's a real story that you remember 101 Ghost Stories, that book.
Oh, with the really scary black and white pencil drawings.
Yeah, it looks like a skull.
Oh,
yeah.
Those are terrifying.
Yep, I remember those as a kid.
Yeah. So I thought it was a good choice to say Bloody Mary instead of Mary-san, because nobody would know.
You could have gone Mary-san. I think us weeaboos could figure it out.
Nobody's ever heard of that story, dude. I promise.
No. Well, I mean, it's something that they can look up, and it might engage the reader into be oh, well, let me look it up. So,
true.
See, I think So we never talk down to the passengers that are listening to this.
No.
We expect them to know all the inside jokes.
Yeah.
So I think us manga fans are adults. We can handle a little Japanese slang.
Well, then,
type stuff.
Then that justifies me not doing the translator note earlier for the so-and-so museum. Checkmate.
I actually think that's too different. I think you could
Really?
have, yeah, I think you could have put the translator note because that's like a real person that nobody really knows. But Mary-san is kind of like you wouldn't translate miso soup into vegetable chicken noodle.
Right, the classic donut onigiri.
Yeah. So I think it's a little different, but it's all nitpicky at this point because
That's what this is for.
yeah, and it's such a great manga anyway that if that's our only complaint or my only nitpick, then
Right.
we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
This one kind of reminds me of Nagatoro. I don't know why. I think maybe it's like I don't know.
Maybe it's the
just
eyes. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, eyes.
I don't
That's
know
what it was.
Nagatoro well enough.
He's like, I can keep you company after class. I'll keep her company after class. I'll take her home with me.
Well, you can't 'cause she's bound to the school.
Oh, really? They haven't talked about that yet. Have
I don't know.
Is she? Is she? Is it
Yeah.
a spoiler? Oh,
Yeah.
well, I bet by the end they'll get her undone. Hopefully.
If they don't say it somewhere in this chapter, they'll say it by like next chapter. It's not a huge spoiler.
so
She's a ghost.
I want to be able to like bind her to like some
bedroom. Hello.
artifact that I can keep in my pocket
Yeah.
so she can follow me around. There's a great manga called My Lovely Ghost Kana. And it's kind of a similar thing. The dude's apartment is haunted, and then eventually, it's like working out. She eventually can leave the house,
Right.
Because like she slowly practices on it. First, it's like a little bit of like
so it's
hand
a
movement.
personal limitation type thing, not like some
Yeah.
kind of magic ghost rule.
Yeah, and I think gives an interesting lore tidbit of. Is it magic or is it like because they're a ghost because of their own personal limitations in the first place?
Is it all in her head, basically?
Yeah, so it's like if you can overcome that, then you can overcome like being bound to where you're at. It's interesting. Food for thought.
For sure. Well, we'll see where this one goes. There's 19 chapters left. We'll see.
And then she's just so overwhelmed with joy that she goes like full psycho mode. This is kind of a fun image there. It looked like laser beams were coming out of her eyes,
yeah.
but she's crying. All the
Laser
damage
tears.
is from her hair.
Yeah.
And then I like this.
Oh, I love
Monster Girl.
that cute little octopus hair beast.
He's just like a real friend.
And then these last 3 panels are so precious. That feel when you'll never make a cute little ghost JK jump up and down like that. Why even live?
I know, right? So now he's talking to the officer dude.
Yeah, like
get
the
into a
school guard
conversation.
or whatever.
And she's yelling over the school.
Yeah. I thought this was just a fun and charming little couple pages here.
See, this is one of my least favorite tropes, though. I hate like this thing where it's like somebody's in the ear and you say "shut up," and it like the person you're talking to is like, I actually really don't like that trope because it's too awkward for me.
It is very awkward, yeah, and I don't like that either.
This last panel was my only really complaint with the manga. I actually don't like that.
It makes you that uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just something like nails on a chalkboard for me.
Yeah,
but it's funny. I doubt it's going to come up again. It's
right. I mean, it's played for comedy.
And then we come to the amazing in page that Aiden designed. Aiden Designs.
Yes.
.co. .ltd.
.biz.
So basically, if you don't know, we scanlated 3 different mangas, released them all at the same time.
Well, chapter 1s, to be clear.
Chapter 1s, yeah. And whatever gets the most views, comments, and ratings on MangaDex is going to be the one that we carry through.
The exact formula for calculating the winner is proprietary.
It's a hotly contested algorithm. YouTube actually came to us. They're like, what is your algorithm for figuring out the next manga?
It's so good, we need to do the opposite for our algorithms. And that's it.
So these are the 3 different options we get. We just read Ghost Girl. And then we've got Nazutoki Drill, Mikarina of the Border.
Mikarina of Border is like the official English name. And I think what we plan on doing is a let's read kind of thing like this, but for the next 2, and we'll space them all out one day apart.
So far, we've had like just an absolutely amazing response to all of the mangas. And then this one in particular has just blown out of the waters. We got on the top trending page of MangaDex for 24 hours. It was a blowout. Amazing. While we're here, why don't we just go through? Wow, we have 40 comments.
Oh my God, dude.
We can't even go through them all right now because that would just take up the whole video.
I don't think there's a single series that I've done that has 40 total.
So we could just see, I put the last comment recently. I said, you guys are awesome talking, not about me. Talking about
The readers.
the readers and the commenters. I was like, thanks so much for all the views on this. It's heartwarming to see such good reception on all 3 of the mangas.
You actually were talking about them.
That's what I said.
No, I thought you were being sarcastic because you normally do a comment like that.
But I love seeing, like, there's so many comments like, I vote for this one. No, I like all 3. It's like, this looks fantastic. Can we vote for all of them? Yes, you can.
Yes, yeah.
You can. Just view and comment on all of them.
Yeah, participation is the metric of the winners.
He wants the ghost fluff. That's great.
We all want the ghost fluff.
Definitely interested in more. This one, absolutely. This one for sure. Do this one. How dare you make me choose between 2 good series? I vote for both. Now, what did he mean, 2 good series?
Rest in peace, the third one that he didn't read.
Yeah.
You know, I've got my own personal biases and stuff, so you guys better not offend me. I swear to God, I'll mess you up.
Jigoku Shonen says, I haven't read the other 2, so I'll vote for this one.
Yeah, I saw that one because he tagged me personally, so that's funny, though.
Oh, here's a spoiler. It's all happy, fluffy, and funny until you realize she's dead in young age. Well, yeah, I guess
that means she'll never age. Dab.
Oh, based. Not bad at all.
High praise.
So there's also a bunch of, I got influenced by the You Decide propaganda page. Oh,
good.
I really like the end page I did for that. I think it looks really good.
It looks good.
It's best design and everything. So we're not going to go through all the comments because there's 40 of them.
So many.
Yeah, which is awesome. But thank you guys.
I don't know how to deal with that problem. We've never encountered it before.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for all the responses and everything. Make sure you go and read the other ones too, just to see if maybe you like that one better. Yep. We'll link to all those in the description. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Let us know what you think of this manga.
True. Yep. Don't die out there unless you're a cute girl who lives right next to me.
Yeah, that goes to my school.
Yeah. Yeah.